Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a full face of e.l.f. cosmetics. So if you don't know much about e.l.f, it is an affordable brand in Australia that is sold at Kmart and online. And I believe it's also starting to phase into stores like Target and Big W. So if that's something you're interested in, please keep on watching. Getting started, I've already done my skincare, just my normal morning skincare routine. To start with, I'm going to be going in with the Blemish Control Face Primer. So I'm just going to take 2 pumps of that. It's quite an interesting texture. It's like a gel type consistency. So we'll see how this goes. So that's that. It seems to have definitely sunk into my skin. Don't think it's really toned down any redness or anything on my face, but it's got quite a nice base. It's sunk in, it hasn't left any residue on my skin. I'm also going to be going in with the matte Putty Primer. I've used the original, and the only pet peeve I really had with that primer was that it created a lot of slip on the areas that I tried to put it. Which unfortunately is the areas where I'm oily, because those are also the areas where my pores are the largest. For foundation, I'm using the e.l.f. Fresh and Flawless foundation. I do have a first impressions wear test video on my channel for this foundation. I do like this foundation, so this is nothing new. I am going to be trying out the e.l.f. sponge though. I've wet it and it's grown to quite a bit of size. It reminds me of the Real Techniques sponge in terms of its shape. So I'm going to give this a try. So just taking 2 pumps on the back of my hand. I'm just going to dot this around my face. So far, so good. That went on nicely. Used pretty much just the 2 pumps on the back of my hand. Nothing different there. For concealer, I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo concealer. I've used the original one and I did find it to be quite drying underneath my eyes. So hopefully we'll have a bit of luck with the hydrating version. So I'm gonna I don't use much. It has a smell that I can't put my finger on. It's reminding me of something in my childhood, but I can't put my finger on it. Before I blend out my other eye, I'm just going to set this one so that to avoid my concealer creasing. For this, I'm just going to be using the e.l.f. HD Under Eye Setting Powder. It is amazing. I find it blurs my under eyes, sets my under eyes really good, doesn't turn it cakey or anything. It's something I've loved for a long time. Yeah. It's just, it normally does come with a little sieve thing in the top, but I took it out to make it easier. A little fluffy brush. Just put a little bit. Do not use much. A little goes a long way. And then just press that into my under eyes. I'm just going to blend out the other eye and use that same powder. Before I set the rest of my face, I do have one of the Putty blushes to try, and this is in the shade Turks and Caicos, I think is how you pronounce it. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. So I'm just going to take a little bit on a Sigma blush brush end up just using my sponge actually. I'm just going to dab it in the backs of my hand. Make sure it's coming off evenly. And then just... Now, it is a cream to powder. It says on the packaging. So, because it's cream, don't want it to mess with any foundation that I put on. Sorry, powder that I put on. If I was to put this on after. So, that's quite nice. Seems to have quite a nice wash to it. We'd recommend using it before you set your face though, because it is quite a cream formula to begin with. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to be using the Prime and Stay finishing powder. This is in the shade Fair / Light or Sheer. It has two different names almost, but yeah, it's powder. I'm just going to take my normal powder brush and pop it in and see. A lot comes onto the brush, so quite a nice powder, fairly standard. It hasn't really accentuated anything, so no, it's quite nice. Next up for bronzer, I do have two options. I have the Bite Size Duo in Spiced Apple. It's a blush technically, but it's more of a bronzer shade for me. Or I do have the Primer-Infused bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed. So this one here tends to be a little bit more warm, and this one tends to be a little bit more cool. I think I'm just going to try the Duo first on just a bronzer brush. See how it goes. Okay, I'm going to give the more cool toned Primer-Infused one a go. There's quite a bit of kickback in the pan with this one, but we'll see. That's doing a bit of a better job. So, overall, don't mind that bronzer. It's alright. Does have a lot of kickback in the pan, but seems okay. Bronze my skin, nothing amazing. For highlight, I do have two options. I've got the highlight from the Duo. The other one I have is the Metallic Flare highlighter in the shade White Gold. I think I'm going to try this one. I just think it will not turn up as white icy on my skin. So I'm just taking my Morphe M504, a little bit on the brush, and I'm just gonna pop that on the top of my cheekbone. That just gives quite a nice glow. I quite like this one because it doesn't have any glitter in it. It's just it's quite a smooth highlighter, so it doesn't emphasize texture a lot on me, which is good because I have a lot of texture. Moving on, for my eyebrows, I have this Instant Lift brow pencil. So there's the pencil kind of thing on one end, and then there's a spoolie on the other. And then I have this Brow Wow fiber gel. So it's a brow mascara in the with brow fibers. So we will give this a try. So just starting off with the pencil, I'm just going to comb it through my brows. Now my eyebrows at the moment don't actually need a lot of filling because they're tinted, so I'm just going to fill in the areas where I feel I need a little bit more, or my brows are a little sparse. It's not a very soft formula, it's actually quite a hard formula, so I guess it's personal preference. Not quite sure how I feel about this pencil, but the shade is a good shade match for me. So that's the pencil. Now I have the Brow Wow in the shade Brunette. It looks a little warm in terms of color on the spoolie, so we'll have to see how this goes, but we'll see. Oh no, comes off a lot darker on the actual brow. Overall, that's quite a nice brow gel. It's definitely added a bit of volume. I'm gonna keep trying this one. Before I move on to eyes, I'm just going to quickly exfoliate my lips with the lip exfoliant. This is really cool because it comes in a lipstick bullet shape, which makes it so much easier. I have the flavor coconut, which is to prime my eyes. I'm going to be using the Putty Eye Primer in the shade Cream. It seems like it's just a very skin toned color, similar to, I guess, the matte paint pots. Comes in the pot. So I'm actually just going to take my finger. I've cleaned my hands, guys. Take my finger and pop that on my eyelid. It seems like a very dry formula, which I guess would be a good thing for eyeshadow primer, because you want it to withstand all of your eyelid oils, especially mine. I do have very oily eyelids. Doing something funky in my eyes though. I'll see how it goes. I'm just going to prime that other eye. For eyeshadow, I have the Mad for Matte Nude Mood palette. This looks really good for just everyday kind of mattes. You can easily create a variety of eyeshadow looks with this. There's no shade name, so I will just point to whichever one I'm going to be using. Now, to start off, I think I'm going to be taking this shade right here, this brown, and popping that in my crease. Okay, so quite a lot picks up on the brush, but there's also quite a bit of kickback in the pan. I don't know if you can see that. It's not something that phases me, but it may for others. So I'm just going to be going with the smaller blending brush. This is the Morphe X Jeffree Star JS6 brush. Now I'm just going to be taking this darker brown right next to the one that I used before. Just this one right here. Hope you can see that. Oh, sorry, just dipped my finger by accident in a shadow. So I'm just going to be taking that shade on the tip of my brush, like so. And I'm just going to be putting that in the outer corner and through my crease. For my lid shade, I'm just going to take a shadow brush. I'm going to just take this second shade here. It's like a kind of pale pink color. I'm going to take a bit on the brush and just pop that on the first half of my lid. So once I'm done with that, just to make sure everything is blended, what I'll do is I'll take the brush I used the second dark shadow for, still just got some product on it, and I'll just go over the edges to make sure that's all nice and blended. That's what I do. If I want a bit of shimmer, I usually would put a bit of the highlight I use in my inner corner, but I'm also not going to do that today because I quite like this natural everyday kind of look as is. Now, I don't use false lashes, I just use mascara on my eyelashes. If I'm going to use false lashes, it is for a special event, so that's just what I do. So for mascara, I have the Lash It Loud Volumizing Mascara. The wand is very spiky. Looks like it will definitely grip my lashes. So I'm just going to do this on the top lashes because my under eyes are quite irritated at the moment, not due to concealer, just from watering eyes. So, see how this goes. So, overall, not too bad. It definitely added some volume, added some length. Not the most I've ever seen, but honestly, still pretty damn good. For lip products, they had a bunch of lipsticks on their website. Didn't end up getting any because they didn't have many neutral kind of colors. There are quite a few bold colors. What I did get was this sheer slick lipstick, and I have the shade Golden Pear. Sorry, had to look there for a minute. It's interesting. So it's one of the rounded type ones. This looks like an orangey kind of neutral color. I'm just gonna put this. So I've just built that up. Sorry, mirror. Overall, it's not a bad shade. It's obviously a sheerer lipstick. You build it up to get more coverage. I'm not a big fan of the rounded applicator type. Just find it very hard to get precise in the corners of my mouth. Other than that, it feels very comfortable. It honestly just feels like I'm wearing a lip balm. So yeah. For setting mist, I don't particularly like using matte setting sprays. I find they just make my makeup look even flatter. So what I did get was this hydrating coconut mist. I'm just gonna try out the mister first. Okay, it's powerful, but spray it out. It's a little powerful. A little powerful for my liking, but it does smell very good. Okay everybody, that was my full face of e.l.f. cosmetics. I found some go-to products for me, the stuff that I'm going to keep trying, and also found some stuff that I'm probably not going to use again. Sorry for my hair, it's an absolute mess. Hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you for watching. I'd really love it if you would please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment and I will respond. Bye.